Hi, everybody. I'm Manny,
And I am Brandon.
and together we are the Bearded Boys. Um,
Hi.
Hi, hello. So great to see you again, but not really see you. Anyway, today we're going over episode 5 of WandaVision. So we're going to go ahead and just jump right into it. So, Brandon, give me your overall thoughts of this episode, please.
I thought this was a solid episode. I don't think it was the best one. I think coming off from all like that we learned from the previous episode, it was kind of hard to follow that up. I did like how we were jumping, like we're now jumping like back and forth between the outside and the inside.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
thought I really enjoyed that, and we're now starting to find out way more about how this is actually being like controlled and worked.
yeah. No, that's good.
And yeah, the implications for Wanda not great, not looking good, girl.
No, you in danger, girl. No, yeah, going off of what you said, solid episode. It was good. It wasn't as good as like the last one or whatever. First of all, 80s fashion, no. Uh, the
I
mom,
I mean, yeah, I'm glad we evolved past that.
yeah.
Thankfully, we didn't have to live through that, Manning.
I'm glad. I am
I mean, to
glad
be fair, '90s isn't that much better.
it really wasn't. And then the whole like like scene thing and the whatever. Anyway, but we won't talk about that.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
The
What scene?
scene slash emo era of
Oh, okay. I
fashion.
thought you were talking about like a specific scene in the episode. I'm like, wait, what
No, no,
scene?
no, no. Scene like the
Yeah, okay,
culture of
I got it.
scene slash emo. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we lived through that time, but it was better than 80s. But other than that, like actual like content of the episode wise, I there was a lot of small details in this episode that I appreciated. That I really that were good. That I liked, and we'll get more into that as we kind of like go over this. There's a lot, like you were alluding to, Brandon. There's like this theme in this episode where you kind of see Wanda and you're like, evil good, like evil good, evil good. I don't, you're not sure. There's a real theme of like gray area here that's not so gray, but you like Wanda, so you want it to be gray, but it's not actually that gray. It's like a
Ag-
darker hue of gray. Uh,
Again, this goes back to what I was saying in the last episode. Like, how much of this is actually intentional, and or how much of this is like just her like subconscious.
yeah, and you want it to be a lot of subconscious, but in this episode, you're like, I don't think it was that subconscious, but whatever. We'll get to that, and you can draw your own conclusions.
I
But
mean, yeah, neither one of us like addressed like the very end with like the cameo.
yeah, that was weird. But yeah, all right. Well, I'm ready. That was my overall thoughts. This episode's weird, so we can get into that
It's
recap.
very 80s.
It's oh yeah, sure, yeah. It's definitely very 80s. Yeah, those pants. No, no.
All right, WandaVision episode 5. It's now the 80s, and the new parents are struggling with twins.
Mm-hmm.
So Wanda tries to use her magic to make them fall asleep, and they're like, "Nah, brah."
No, this is one of the small details I was talking about. Like, it seemed kind of like one of those things where you're like, oh, her magic's not working on them, whatever. But there's a lot there when you think about it. Like,
Right.
the fact that her magic cannot affect, it seems like, her children. Like, that's like, out of all this stuff that seems like it's in her control and about how powerful she is, like, those kids, she can't even touch them. Like, that's an important thing to me, at least when I saw this, that, like,
Yeah,
you need to keep
I,
track of that. Like that's important. Like
I guess I've never read into it like as that big of a deal, even though like I recognize that she couldn't do anything against them.
yeah, she couldn't manipulate them. She couldn't make them fall asleep. She can't. It doesn't seem like she can control their minds. Like these kids can't be
Right.
touched by her, and that seems to me like a really important detail.
Yeah, I guess I never read into it that much. Huh, interesting. All right, so Agnes pops into the house conveniently after Wanda wishes for some help. Vision says that they don't need our help, and Agnes is visibly confused and asks Wanda should she take it from the top. The entire thing is very unsettling. Another thing that we haven't mentioned at all in this series is when like these weird like Twilight Zone events happen, the aspect ratio of the actual show itself changes.
Oh yeah,
So
it's definitely weird.
yeah,
This is the first time actually in the series where someone is like sentient. Does that make sense? Like this was another one of those details to me that was like that stood out, that was different. Like she
I think this is the first time that I had the thought is Agnes somehow involved in this?
Exactly, yeah. That's where I was like kind of thinking that too. I don't know. Well, I don't know if I thought that she was involved in it, or if maybe everybody was like playing a part, and this is the first time that you see somebody like break character that wasn't like Wanda or Vision or Geraldine, who we know is like from the outside. So then you're like, is Agnes from the outside, or is Agnes somehow sentient, or is everybody sentient and they're all playing along? Like it's like what's happening?
The reason I always read into like Agnes was more likely to be a part of it, like working with Wanda, is because back in the last episode when they were identifying all the residents on the board, Agnes's photo was on there, but there was no like
Name.
We don't know who this is.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Nope. Interesting.
Yeah, that's probably something we should have added. I should have mentioned in the last episode. But
yeah, that's good. We answered
but I digress. So the entire thing is unsettling, and it's the first time something like happens in front of Vision.
Mm-hmm.
Vision takes Wanda aside and questions Wanda about what just happened, but she brushes it aside like nothing had happened.
That was a weird choice for her. I don't know. She was really committing to brushing that shit off, and Vision was not having it. Like,
right.
She didn't stop for a second, like to be like, no, you're right, this isn't normal. And she's just like, nope. I don't know. It was just weird.
Again, it goes back into like how much of this is Wanda actually controlling.
Exactly, yeah. And it's a big question mark right now.
So Agnes starts helping them with the kid, and she makes this really, really weird line. It was like, oh yeah, where's your dark liquor for the children?
Well, so when I saw this, I don't know if you heard this, but so back in the day, like, I don't know who told me this. I think it was like my parents. They like if you had like a toothache, like if your kid had like a toothache, sometimes parents would give them like a little alcohol for the toothache. That was something that was like a thing that parents did like back in the day. And so that's kind of what I thought she was like referencing to, but I've never heard of parents giving their kids alcohol to like calm them down. Just like the toothache thing was the only time I've ever heard about the alcohol thing.
I don't know. I guess like my parents never drank, so alcohol was never a part of it.
Yeah, it was definitely not a thing they used to calm you down. My parents didn't give me alcohol either, all right? So no, but it was something that I heard that was a thing that maybe happened, but I don't remember because maybe I was too young. But whatever, we could.
That seems more like a thing for like the 50s, not the 80s, though.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Do you give your children alcohol? Let us know in the comments.
Probably. Actually, you probably shouldn't. You'll probably end up on a website.
I was trying to catch him, Brandon. I was gonna get him for this kid.
Oh.
Anyway, we keep going. That's fine. All right, we're done with that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, all right. So suddenly we don't hear any crying anymore. And as the parents check the cribs, as they check the cribs, they find that they are empty, only to turn around and see two toddlers, who we can assume are the children.
Stuff. No. Thoughts. Anyway. What the
Thoughts.
fuck?
Yeah.
First of all,
I was literally just about to say that.
I saw this happen and I was like, why? At first I was like, why? And then as I thought about it more, like after the episode, I'm thinking about it more, from a writing perspective, I think it makes sense. And I'm sure there's a lot of reasons, right? But yeah, so I had to think of it from like, there's only so much you can do with them as babies, right? There's only so much storyline. Yeah, there's only so much storyline wise that you can do with the babies and them having babies. And like the fact that this is like a 7-episode series, like this move makes
you gotta keep moving on.
Yeah. You gotta keep like moving on. You gotta make it complicated and add this dynamic here and give these babies or characters, more to do other than cry and like poop and and shit
Right.
like that. And then that all makes sense. But when I first saw this, I was just like, what the fuck? Why? Like, but I get it now thinking back, and I'm sure there's a lot more that these kids are going to do and be more involved in the storyline. And they can now because they're not just babies. But it was a surprise to me.
All right. So we cut to the title sequence, which is the title sequence. Like the song for this one was awesome. I loved it.
It wasn't as good as the WandaVision repeating like 1,000 times thing.
No, the Bewitched one.
Yeah, I was super for that, but it was still good. It was campy.
Also,
it's good.
The baby Vision, where it was like the baby dressed as Vision, that is nightmare fuel. That was terrifying.
So bad. Oh my god, what the why? Some questionable decision.
Oh god. I remember the first time I watched it, I like physically stopped just to like stare at it for like a minute. I'm like, huh.
Adult face almost and baby body. Oh god. Nope.
Yep, just all the nopes. So after the title sequence, we cut back to Sword Mission Control, where Monica is being tested for a number of things. Monica says that while she was in the show, she could feel Wanda's pain and hopelessness.
Bad
Yeah.
Wanda. Oh, bad Wanda.
Look, Wanda, I want to be on your side on this, okay?
They're in pain.
Truly, I do.
They're in pain. Anyway, keep going.
But so in the briefing room, we get an oversimplified backstory about Wanda's history.
I did want to ask you though, when you saw what's her name? Geraldine.
Monica.
Yeah, when you saw Monica's X-ray, what did you think? Like when her X-ray came out wrong.
Look, I knew that her character was going to be important to the MCU because spoilers, she's going to be in Captain Marvel 2.
Okay.
And I know that she becomes a superhero.
Okay.
So yeah, I already had that spoiled for me.
Got it. Okay, yeah. All right. Well, then that makes sense then. Because I had different theories when I saw this the first time because I didn't know that.
Right.
So I'm not sure how important those theories are, but because it doesn't really matter. Because yeah. But like I was thinking that she was like created by like. In my head, I was like, was she created by Wanda? Is she not real? Like, is she an agent of Wanda? Like, when the first time I saw this, I was like...
So you didn't think it was the original Monica that got shot back out?
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was, like, some agent of Wanda doing, like, recon or something. Or,
that's interesting.
Because, like, when it showed the X-ray, there was nothing there. So I was like, is she, like, not a ghost, but, like, is she not real? Like, that was me, because I didn't have any insight to, like, what she actually was. Because the X-ray thing being wrong was another one of the small details where I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why? Like, so that's why I wanted to get your idea of, like, what did you think was going on with, like, the whole X-ray thing. But, yeah.
But, yeah, like I said, I had it. I
kind
had
of spoiled. Yeah.
Prior knowledge.
Got it. Okay.
I sort of knew what was going on.
Yeah. Okay.
So in the briefing, we get an oversimplified backstory about Wanda's history, and we learn that she was born in Sokovia. Parents were killed in an explosion that was caused by Tony Stark's weapons. She was trapped in there for days, was experimented on by Hydra, eventually joined the Avengers. Hayward makes a smart-ass remark saying, oh, what is her like superhero name? And it's like, Hayward's like, I don't know, we never gave her one.
Yeah, that's funny. I thought that was really funny.
Hayward's just overall being a dick.
Kinda. I don't know. Okay. So the one thing I wanted to say about this whole scene and the interaction between Monica, Wu, and Hayward was just like, to me.
So yeah, I'm gonna get a bit more into detail about like that.
You are? Okay, yeah, go ahead and keep going, because I do have some thoughts about the whole interaction in this whole scene.
So, Hayward asks Jimmy if she has a funny nickname or an alias she goes by, and starts to frame the narrative that she is a terrorist. Monica disagrees with and defends Wanda by saying she doesn't think this is an act of aggression. Furthermore, she put up her own barrier, and if she really wanted to, she could have made it a hell of a lot bigger.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah. I don't know. Monica's defense, and Monica also brings up the fact that, hey, if she wanted me dead, she would have, like, she could have killed me.
Yeah,
But
she's
somehow,
pretty good.
like, I was able to live through being thrown through a house in a fence and across miles.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so the thing I was gonna say about this was this whole scene and this whole interaction. It just seemed like Monica and Jimmy Woo. I gotta be honest. I was kind of. It wasn't completely Team Hayward or whatever, but I also was like seeing the way Monica and Jimmy were talking about her, and I was like, they are too much on her side. Like, it seems like they are defending her way too much for what's been going on, and Monica knowing that it wasn't really like a cakewalk being under her mind control. It just seemed weird to me how much on her side like Monica was. I'm not saying like, kill Wanda at this time or anything like that. It just, to me, it seemed like they were trying way too hard and being way too nice about what was going on with Wanda, to me. But that was just me.
I don't know. It's an interesting thing because both of those characters have also had interactions with other superheroes.
True.
Other superheroes. So maybe there is sort of an inherent bias, but I don't know because later in this episode, Jimmy Woo brings up Captain Marvel, and Monica's like,
that bitch. No, you're right. No, but you bring up an interesting point. Like they've had interactions, and I did think about that at one point. They've had interactions with superheroes before, so like they do have a little bit of a bias there, and they kind of understand that in the previous movies too, like in their movies, like there's a lot of like gray area, moral ambiguity, like stuff going on sometimes with like the superheroes. Because like in Ant-Man, he was like a thief, right? Like he was a legit criminal, and
and he was also under house arrest, which he broke for that entire movie.
Right. Yeah. So when you put it in that kind of like frame, I guess I can see a little bit more why they were like kind of more on her side, but still.
Yeah, I definitely get Hayward's position, especially after he shows the footage of Wanda stealing Vision's body.
Yeah, no, yeah. At that point, I was also like, "Whoa, hold up, what the fuck?" Like,
yeah.
It was hard. It was hard to do. Again, we were just like, good, bad.
But again, Hayward was really being a dick about it.
He was. And that's how you know he's in the wrong position. In a movie, if the guy comes off as a dick, well, you can't root for him. That's not...
Right.
Yeah. And if the people rooting for the person is, like, the comic relief and they're funny, it's like, you gotta root for them. Otherwise, you're a dick, too. Like, if it was the other way around, if Hayward was the comic relief and they were being dicks about it, like...
I don't think he has the comedic ability for that.
You're probably right. We can keep going now.
Yeah, so we see the footage of Wanda breaking into Sword headquarters, and I had a question of why was Vision's body there?
At Sword headquarters?
Yeah.
Is that what your question is?
Yes.
Let me think about that. So he died in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Endgame doesn't say anything about what happened to his body, but
he doesn't come back in Endgame.
He does not come back in Endgame, so why would it be at Sword? I don't know if anyone was gonna take his body, because that was after the blip happened, so it's not like Wanda was there to take his body, or really anybody other than
but his body was still in Wakanda.
Right, so Steve Rogers was there, Tony was there. They probably why wouldn't Tony take it? I feel like Tony would have took his body,
since he's the one that made him.
Tony was probably going through a lot of shit at the time, though, because of the whole like Spider-Man disappearing thing. He probably didn't even just want to deal with it, honestly.
That's right. Tony wasn't.
He wasn't on Earth. Yeah, he wasn't even on Earth. So they probably cleaned that shit up before he even got back.
But again, why wouldn't Cap take it? And his body was still in Wakanda. Wouldn't Wakanda? Because his body was made from vibranium.
Oh, they did say that he had a living will, though. They did say that Vision had a living will because he didn't want to be. I mean, well, they did that later.
Yeah, I guess.
I kind of like... No, they mentioned it in this episode. He had a living will, so maybe it was his will that took him there. I don't know. But you have a good point. Like, it's kind of a stretch thinking about how they ended up with his body. Oh, they do mention it later. They mention it later. Or they mentioned it in this episode. I don't remember. They mentioned, like, it's government property. Some bullshit like that. And that's why they took it.
No, I think that's in a later episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. So at this point, me and you, I don't know.
But he
I can't
wasn't
answer.
made by the government.
He was made by Tony. You're right.
Yeah.
It's a weird situation. I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Fooled you, Marvel.
Loophole.
Right. Okay. All right. So we're back in the show again, and the twins are even older now and standing at the sink, saying that if we clean something up, maybe Mom will let us keep it. And naturally, Wanda walks in, and at that exact moment.
Right. We can't get across the hijinks. They still gotta happen in this episode.
Yep. So there's a small bark, and they found a dog. Where they don't know. They don't tell us.
Nope. Disappeared.
Yep. Vision walks into the kitchen as well in his human disguise and makes a joke that he had a hunch that someone might pop over, and Agnes immediately walks in.
That supercomputer brain, man, fucking knows about your hijinks.
Also, I hope I never get close enough to my neighbors to where they feel comfortable just walking into my house.
It's a very sitcom-y thing. Or like, getting a ladder up to somebody's window. Also a very sitcom-y 80s, 90s thing.
Yeah.
Not okay now. It's not okay.
Yeah. They name the dog Sparky, and Wanda makes the dog a collar while Agnes has her head looking down at the dog. Vision chastises her for using her ability in front of Agnes.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And Wanda's like, look, I'm tired of hiding, right? Like, I don't care at this point.
It's another weird detail. Another weird detail in this. Why is Wanda being so weird now, first of all? It's weird because why? Like, why is she not making an effort anymore to, like, hide her powers? And she says it, right? She says, yeah, go ahead.
I always figured, like, she has to know that people are on the outside by now.
Yeah.
Too many people have had the sword logo. So at this point, I don't think she really cares about the people inside, like, knowing anymore.
Yeah. I think, and I think that's partially it too. I think some of it is, I think it's a few things. I think, one, she is more aware that she is in control, first of all. So she is aware that, this is her. She's more aware that she's doing this and that she can control what they're thinking and stuff like that. And I think, two, it also goes back to the fact that she can't control her kids. She can't use magic to manipulate the kids. She can't, and it comes into play more later in the episode, and I'll bring it up again. She can't use magic to, like, change the kids' memories. She can't use magic to, like, control what the kids think and stuff like that. And so I think at this point, knowing she's in control, knowing she can't control her kids, she's becoming more lax on, like, the rules as far as what they were following per the sitcom and per not hiding their powers and all that other stuff. So that's kind of what I was thinking when I saw.
Do you think she can? Do you think she can control Vision?
That's a tough question. At this point, do I think she can control Vision? Yes, I think she can. And it's confusing because I don't know why she's not doing it now. Because Vision's asking all these weird questions at this time too about, like, the powers and stuff, and she just kind of plays it off. But because we've seen her control Vision before, like, she's rewound stuff that's happened with the beekeeper and with Geraldine. Like, she kind of waves that off. Like, there's been a few instances already where she kind of rewound or edited out, like, made it so that he doesn't.
That was edited out to the outside, not necessarily Vision.
The beekeeper thing. Well, because there was also the point where she was like, yeah, after they came back inside from the beekeeper, Vision's like, Wanda, what's happening? Like, that was weird. And then, remember, she kind of rewound it. And then Vision was like, you know what? It's just, I love you. Like, do you remember that part in the previous episode?
See, I always read that as not her controlling Vision, but just, like, rewinding time.
Oh, and Vision maybe just said something different.
Yeah.
Like, because circumstance and time travel is weird. No, and that makes sense. And that could be it. Yeah, I guess we don't really know if she can't control Vision. It kind of seems like she can at this point. Cannot.
Right. I think she's mainly putting on, like, an act for Vision. Like that's why she's controlling everyone to make
Yeah.
it seem real. It's almost like a Truman Show type thing.
Okay. Okay. So she's not like mind controlling Vision. Is that what you're saying? She's more like
Yeah.
manipulating Vision.
Right.
But yeah. All right. Yeah, we can. So yeah, we can keep going from that. It was weird question. Okay.
All right. So the parents tell the boys that they aren't ready for the responsibility of owning a dog until they're the age of 10. So naturally, they just age themselves up to 10
Yeah.
in front of everybody in the entire damn room.
Makes total sense. Not whatever. Not okay. I don't know. Just let Agnes see everything that's going on. We're not gonna question it, except Vision. But I mean, who cares what Vision's 6? He's just a robot.
Yeah, it's not like he's sentient or anything.
Right. Whatever. Anyway, said Wanda.
So we're back outside the hex now. Monica is trying to come up with a way to safely re-enter Westview, and says that she knows an aerospace engineer that could possibly have what she's looking for.
Also, Woo bought coffee. Woo brought coffee.
I thought you said like Woobot. I'm like wait, what's
No. Woo brought coffee. Let me enunciate that better. Yes.
No, his name is Jimmy.
Jimmy Woo. Jimmy
Yes.
brought coffee, everybody. That's what I'm trying to say.
So, Monica and Jimmy sort of get into a slight argument. They say that Wanda is wielding way more power than she's ever displayed in the past, and she could have taken down Thanos if he hadn't called down a blitz. Jimmy makes a comment about Captain Marvel could have done the same thing, and Monica really tries to get them to focus on Wanda. Like it looks like she really doesn't want to talk about Captain Marvel.
I wonder
So
why.
like maybe there's some like bad blood there.
Yeah, I wonder what went on between them. I mean, last we saw them, she chose Captain Marvel's costume color and then she left. And
Maybe she's just salty that she never came back and visited.
true, yeah, or she's salty that she didn't come back for like the first Infinity War or the first Avengers or the second Avengers, like
Or maybe she didn't come back like when her mom died or something.
right, or like her birthday. Like we don't know. I don't know. Maybe she's weird like that.
Yeah. So the crew go to the labs and find the clothes that Monica had on while she got thrown out of the hex, and find that since before Monica got sucked into the hex, she had a bulletproof vest on. Wanda rewrote reality, making them look era appropriate, but still having the properties of what they were on the outside.
Kevlar
So basically-
parachute pants. Or
Yep. Yeah.
Bell pants. They're not parachute pants. They were I don't
Bell
know.
bottoms, which I'm pretty
Bell
sure
bottoms,
those are
yeah.
the same thing.
Are they? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, but they're bulletproof now. So yeah.
Bulletproof and stylish.
Yep. There you go. Everything you could ask for.
So, back in the show, we cut to Vision at his job at Computational Something Industries. And they finally have computers. Also, I wanted to ask, when was the internet available for businesses?
I have no idea. I can't answer that question at all.
Because we know this episode is set in the 80s, and Norm gets an email.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Computational services are very important, Brandon. They were like
I'm not saying that they aren't, but
front
I know
line.
like the internet was like started at like universities and stuff, so I'm just wondering like how widespread were they in the 80s?
It's probably just one of those, suspend your
Okay.
there, yeah.
Okay.
They had computers and they got an email. I don't. Wanda doesn't know that. Like, she's controlling this whole thing. It's whatever she thinks.
She grew up in a third world country. She doesn't know what a computer is.
She doesn't know when we had internet in America. Like,
Right.
yeah. Well, I mean, we don't even know, and we live here.
Yeah. So yeah. So Vision makes a remark to Norm about surfing the web again, and Norm gets an email. They open the email, and it's from a SWORD agent saying the radiation on Westview residents is unknown. Norm starts to read the email aloud, and the entire office does too simultaneously.
Fucking creepy.
It's another one of those Twilight Zone moments.
So they got a bunch of radiation on them. Are they gonna get like superpowers? Are they gonna be like mutants?
No, we don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah, it's unknown.
You don't want that CMDR radiation on you. Wait,
CMBR.
CMBR. You don't need to say radiation because it's the R.
Yep.
Those words.
All right. So Vision is confused and turns off the computer, all while Norm is saying that the email isn't real and that it's all a joke. Very much trying to brush it off like Wanda is trying to.
The very first meme.
Yep. Vision puts his hands on Norm's temples and he begins to have a breakdown saying to please help him. Also asking how long has it been. Vision tries to get Norm to calm down, but he says to Vision that he has to stop her and that she is in his head and it hurts so much.
Wanda evil. We're on the evil. We were on the good. At some point, I don't know, but now we're back on the evil. Wanda evil.
Again, like, Carl, I want to be on your side. I really do.
Nope.
So Vision puts his hand back on Norm's head, and Norm seems to go back to normal.
Norm for normal.
Yep. All right. The boys are training Sparky and want to show their dad, but he is at work. The boys ask why is he at work if today is Sunday? And Wanda's like, no, today's Monday.
Again, Wanda can't control her kids. She has to be looser on the rules as far as continuity goes for her world, because her kids cannot be controlled by her.
Yeah. So Wanda says it's Monday, but the boys say that this morning was Saturday, so something is amiss. She tries to play it off by saying there was an emergency at work and that Vision had to go in, and says that he needed a distraction. And immediately the boys are like, oh, he needs a distraction from us?
Way to make it about you, kids.
Yep. I mean, yeah.
This is all about...
They seem very emotionally healthy for 10-year-olds.
They do. I mean, they've only been 10-year-olds for like a day, but yeah.
I mean...
They seem very emotionally healthy for infants who... became...
Yeah, weren't they just born yesterday?
Yeah, they were like 5, and then they were 10, and yeah. Pretty stable.
Alright, so the boys take it to mean that Vision needs a distraction from them, but Wanda tries to explain it by telling the boys that the parents aren't always on the same page, and that even if they fight, they will always be family. One of the twins asks Wanda if she has a brother, and she says yes, but that he is far away. Back outside the Hex, the crew has sent in a drone from the 80s, and their theory is that since all the other drones were conforming to the technology of that time, if they have an 80s drone, they will be able to keep the signal, which seems like logical, but also, just like the tube TVs, where the hell are you going to find a drone from the 80s?
Right, they got that pretty quick. Sword has resources.
Has internet connection.
They can connect to. It's radio stuff, man.
Well, no, it's not, because they have a visual.
You can still send video through radio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can send video directly using, like, radio waves. Or, well, different frequency of waves. But yes, you could send video. Direct link.
I did not know that. Mm-hmm. All right, fair enough. So, the crew sent in a drone and is able to get a signal through the barrier. It flies up to Wanda's house, and she is walking outside. So on the show, Wanda is framing the shot to where no one can see the drone. Monica tries to speak with Wanda through the drone, but Wanda isn't speaking, and her eyes begin to glow. Monica's controls aren't working anymore, and Hayward orders another person to take the shot while the signal flickers out completely. Again, Hayward is just being a dick.
He's a bad guy. But also, Wanda's a bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agent Wu is the protagonist in this show. Jimmy.
He's the one we're all rooting for.
He's the protagonist. Geraldine / whatever her other name was. Monica. She's whatever. She's a double agent. I don't know. She's there. It's all about Jimmy.
So it sounds like you aren't liking a lot of the characters.
Nah, Monica's fine. Jimmy's my fave. Oh, and then fuck, I forgot her name again. The others. The astrophysicist Darcy. Yeah, and she's great. Give me the Jimmy and Darcy show.
Like I said in the previous episode, I would totally watch that buddy cop comedy.
Yes.
So an alarm begins to sound, and someone is coming out of the Hex. Wanda comes out of the Hex to a dozen armed agents, all pointing rifles at her, and she is carrying the drone that they just sent in. and she's looking scary as F. Scary
Yes.
AF.
Very much so, yes.
Yep. Wanda says that this is the only warning she's going to give them. Hayward says she has taken over an entire town as hostage. Monica says that Wanda is the one in control. Wanda looks at Monica and starts to use her powers. It looks like she's about to fire on her, even though she's defending Wanda.
Weird choice, like, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Monica tells Wanda that she wants to help her, but Wanda refuses and starts to walk back into the hex, but not before pulling a complete baller move and controlling everyone's minds and pointing all the guns at Hayward. And at this point, I'm like, yes, do it.
When Monica was like, I can help you, wasn't Wanda like, why or how or whatever? She's like, how can you help me? Or did she say that? I don't know.
I think it's something to the effect of like, oh yeah, I have everything I have in here and no one is going to take it from me.
Oh, right. She's like, I don't need your help. Was basically kind of what she was getting at.
Like,
but yeah.
So at this point, it's definitely heavily implied that Wanda is the one doing this. She knows what's up. She knows what's like going on fully, and where I'm like, come on, just I want to help. Like, I want to be on your side, Wanda, but you are just not doing yourself any favors.
Throw me a bone, Wanda. Come on. I want to root for you. Give it to me. Nope. That's a big nope. It's a whole lot of nope.
Yep. So as she re-enters the hex, everyone gains control of their minds again and puts their guns down. But there had to have been like one guy. I'm like, I could still do it.
And I can Jimmy. It'd be Jimmy. No, like, oh, I was mind controlled. Oops. Oh no. Yeah, someone should. She didn't have them shoot him though. That's important.
Yeah.
There you go. You were looking for a bone, to root for her. She didn't kill the douchebag guy. Although she didn't know he was a douchebag. I mean, she kind of knew he was a douchebag.
All right. Cut to a commercial for Lagos paper towels, where it is becoming more and more evident that these commercials all have to do with Wanda's past trauma.
I don't know what Lagos is about. Do you know what that's about? Like, what is Lagos?
Okay. So you remember at the very opening scene in Captain America Civil War, where they were in that foreign country and Rumlow like tries to blow himself up right in front of Cap.
Yeah.
And Wanda was like contains the explosion and lifts it up.
Yeah.
That country was Lagos.
Oh, and then what was the catchphrase they had? Like when you didn't mean to.
I didn't write down the catchphrase, but it was like when I think it was like, oh, when you had to clean up your own mess or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's something you did something you didn't mean to, and I was like, ooh, yeah.
But yeah. So before we had the Hydra body wash, the watch with Strucker, who was the one who did the experiments on her. So yeah, again, these commercials are just building up like her past trauma.
Yep, there's a lot. Getting a lot more commercials.
Yeah, she's probably got more than most people.
Yeah.
All right. So another important thing to note is, as Wanda was walking out to face the drone, Sparky got out of the house and ran away. So the boys and Wanda are now walking around trying to find him. They run into Agnes, who is holding the dead body of Sparky, and Wanda has to have the conversation about death to her kids. Her kids tell her to fix it, and she says that even she can't bring back the dead.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on in this scene. I didn't know how to process it, honestly. Like, just with the kids, the way that they were acting, and the way that Agnes was acting. It was also sad because the dog died, and I was sad about that.
Yeah, and we just met him, like, 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, but it's not okay if the dog dies in any show, Brandon. you gotta focus in 100% on the fact that a dog died in the show, and that's not okay.
I mean, I guess I'll contribute my apathy to never having a dog growing up.
You haven't lived, man. They didn't even show the thing at the end where it's like no animals were harmed in this. Does that mean he was harmed? Never mind. I don't need to say that. We can take that out. That's fine.
So back at the house, Wanda is cleaning up the dog toys lying around the kitchen. When Vision walks in from what looks like he buried Sparky in the backyard.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So Vision walks in and tells Wanda that he spoke with Norm free from her oversight. Wanda tries to change the subject, but Vision isn't having it and continues to press Wanda by saying that she can't control him like everybody else, which naturally she tries to do by rolling the end credits.
Yep. It did not work out. Vision cannot be controlled. Confirmed.
Yep. But I did like visually how the credits continued to roll, and you could still hear Vision pressing her like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, you need to tell me now. And he's totally in the fair here. It's totally in the right. What the fuck, Wanda? Jesus. Oh my god.
So Vision is still questioning her and getting angrier. Both are yelling and floating in the living room. Vision says he can't remember his life outside of Westview and that he is scared, and that calms Wanda down. Vision asks why there are no other kids in Westview, saying that the playground is empty every day he walks to work. She says that she has no idea how all this started. Vision is telling her that it is wrong what she's doing here when the doorbell rings, and she says that she didn't do that, but Vision doesn't believe her.
Nope. And he's kind of in the right for not believing her or anything like that. She just doesn't even she's what, I don't know, she just doesn't say anything about any of the stuff. He's right, he's all 100% right. Yeah. You're this is wrong, and she doesn't say anything about that. She's probably she's you're probably right. Saved by the doorbell. I don't know, it's just right. It's all bad for Wanda. Bad Wanda. Bad. All
right, Wanda opens the door, and we cut to Darcy back at the sword base outside. Darcy is watching what happens in real time. Cut back to Vision, who asks Wanda who the person at the door is, and we see the same actor who played Quicksilver, Wanda's brother in the comics, from the X-Men series.
Man, they took the less attractive version of Quicksilver and brought him in. That's not cool.
Yeah, and I love Darcy's comment. She recast Pietro.
Yeah. It's so on the nose. Yes. This is exactly what happened, it seems like. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, man. I'm sad. I like the other Quicksilver better. This one's kind of annoying. It's got that annoying face. I've seen the movies he was in. That was annoying Quicksilver. He's not cool Quicksilver.
I don't know. I think I prefer the X-Men Quicksilver. He didn't have that bad Russian accent.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. He was just not he was more campy and more, jokey, immature. There we go. He's less mature than the hot Quicksilver that we saw in Age of Ultron.
Yeah, Age of Ultron. Pietro walks in, calls Vision a popsicle.
Random.
And we cut to credits.
End of episode. Yeah, so I guess, Brandon, did you have any closing thoughts for this episode or anything?
Again, I know I've said it multiple times in this episode, but Wanda, Jesus Christ, I want to be on your side, but you're just not doing yourself any favors.
She's not. She's really not. She has no answers. She has nothing.
She straight up threatened a government agency.
She has trauma. That's what she has. She needs help.
Yeah.
Get help, girl. You in danger.
Right. But yeah, I'm also the longer the show goes on, the more sad I think I feel for Vision.
Yeah, there's some existential crisis shit going on there. Poor guy. Oh, wait, I can't say that shit. Kinda. I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, because he's slowly figuring out this, whatever Westview is, it's not right.
Right, and I don't have any memories from before. So yeah, I would call this an existential crisis for him. He's I don't know why I don't remember anything. I don't know why you're doing this. Poor guy is he's got a lot going on. Poor little android guy. Yeah.
But yeah, overall, like I said at the beginning, this is a solid episode.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite, but I think it's probably like my third favorite episode so far.
It was probably my second favorite episode, just because I really like the main storyline kind of deal. You know, there was a lot, and I really like, you know, like I said, I already kind of commented on this, but the characters, like bringing in those side characters, I think they developed them really well with the time that they had, and it still kept the main storyline, you know, progressing and everything like that.
Right.
And there was a lot in the dynamic between like Wanda and Vision. Like that's been different, like them fighting and you know, seeing more of Vision and Vision piecing together everything and actually confronting Wanda on it. That was a huge like part of this episode. That's a huge part of the series, like Vision actually confronting Wanda about everything that's happening. Like that's a big detail. So yeah, I was really for that, really for all of it. So yeah, it was good.
All right, everybody. Well, that has been episode 5 of WandaVision. I am Brandon.
And I'm Manny.
And we are the Bearded Boys. Make sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment, give us a share. We will see you all next week.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.